what goes into the decision to say this is Joel's turn, this is Jakarian's turn? Is it just whoever needs a break? Do you have situations where one guy's skill set fits better? How do you go about deciding that?
No, just whoever needs a break. I think they both, work pretty hard. They both got, pretty similar skill sets. They both are pretty fast. One's maybe a little heavier, but just whoever needs a break. Obviously, Joel's has been a starter, since Dez been out. He's had a heck of a camp and he's been doing a really good job this season. So I trust him because of the consistency that he's had. But Boosie Jakarian is just not getting into the flow of things still as a young freshman. So he still don't have a lot of experience. So some things I may want Joel's to do. But other than that, it's all who needs a break. With those two guys.
For Boosie, what's kind of the next step for him? Is it just getting more comfortable, or there's things that you want him to improve on? How does he kind of take the next step?
Just overall football player, just at this level and this offense, because it is a lot, for the running back, a lot to learn, whether it's protections, all the different routes and concepts that we do out of the backfield, so just learning it. And just like you said, the more experience and playing time you get in actual games, the better he'll continue to be and grow. So that's the main thing for him. Just keep playing, stay healthy and keep rolling.
With Joel's and now to an extent Jakarian getting his feet wet, just how would you assess overall how the run game's been, just having to perform those duties without Dez these last couple weeks?
Honestly, I'll be quite honest. I think the run game been pretty well. When Dez was in and when he hasn't been. I think the O-line been doing a great job, and Coach Dog will do a great job with those guys. And a lot of times the running backs meet with them as well, and they get a lot of insight on what those guys are doing and being taught for every week in the game plan. But I think we've been running well even before last week. I think we're averaging over 4 yards a carry before last week. So I think we're doing a good job. Starting to get more explosives. You know what I mean? As we keep going. But I think it's been going pretty well. Always looking to get better every single day, and we want more. You know what I mean? We want to run it more. We want to get more yards. All those great things. But I think it's only going to get better with time, with new pieces on the O-line, new guys in the backfield, young guys in the backfield like that. So it's something that only gets better with time.
Narduzzi told us, just looking at the Boston College game, it really seemed like the run game was able to take some strides, and he attributed that, at least in some part, to just the pass game success and how that was able to open up the run. Just what did you see from your vantage point? Just what do you feel like allowed you guys to have more success on the ground against the Eagles?
Well, I mean, me as a running back coach and as a former running back, I'm always, say the O-line first, you know what I mean? Because even in the passing game, we still got to protect first to open up the passing game. And then I think just those guys just getting off the ball, man, playing physical, moving guys and opening it up for the running backs to make some plays. But yes, in reality, when you talk about football and offensive play, you love to be balanced, and it does help open up the run game when you are able to throw the ball and complete the ball. And then the biggest thing is just staying on the field on third down. You know what I mean? When you stay on the field on third down, now you get more plays. You know what I mean? Now you're able to do, run the ball or throw the ball, but you got to complete the ball on third down in order to, be able to open up and run the ball. So I think that was the case.
With a true freshman quarterback making his first start, what does your group have to do to make his job as easy as possible and easy to do things?
Oh, be perfect. Be perfect. That was the message. Even before the freshman quarterback, to be honest, it's always like we strive for perfection. We want to be great. And those guys, they're not going to be perfect. But every single day, I don't care if they throw the ball, in the stands, like go catch it. That's my motto. I don't care if they don't block nobody up front. Like go make a play. You know what I mean? And that's the standard. They know that, and they hard on themselves. They coach themselves hard. So whether it was a freshman or whether it was a 10th year senior back there at quarterback, the standard is going to be the standard. It's going to be great.
On Turner's touchdown, he bounces out to the left side. Then also earlier in the game, there was an option play where Mason pitches it to him to the outside as well. Is that where you feel like he can be the most effective outside the tackles?
Honestly, yeah, because he has speed, but he's a tough kid. He's 182 pounds, but he plays big because he's so explosive. So he's hard to tackle. And then he has a good feel. He's been playing running back his whole life, so he has a good feel even between the tackles and how to read blocks and playing behind his pass too. So, yes, his strong suit is going to be outside because he's super fast, but he can do both. He can go inside inside the tackles and outside. So.
What are the key talking points right now when you're looking at Florida State? Like, what do they bring defensively up front?
You said differently?
Defensively up front, like, what do they bring?
You know, typical, powerful football stuff, just speed, size. They fly around, they're well coached. You can definitely see that in their scheme and what they do. They do a couple of different things that, you have to plan and prepare for. But I just think they fly around, they fast, they have some good athletes. So, I mean, it's honestly a lot like our defense that we see every day. Our defense, obviously, they're really good. So, but they did some good stuff, and it's going to be fun.
Was there anything that Miami or Virginia did that exposed the defense for Florida State that maybe you guys could lock into and maybe do as
No,
well?
sir. Nope.
Any final? Coach, thank you.